I want to share with you the true story of an anonymous animal born into the meat and dairy industry. Her truck was unloaded one September morning, and after all the other animals were removed from the trailer, she was left behind, unable to move. The yard workers used their customary sticks and electric prods to try and get her out of the truck. They beat her and they kicked her in the face, ribs and back, but still she was unable to move. They then decided to tie a rope around her neck, and they tied the other end to a post in the ground and drove the truck away at speed. She was dragged along the floor of the truck, catapulted into the air and hit the ground hard, breaking both hind legs and shattering her pelvis. She remained there stricken and in unimaginable pain until 7:30 in the evening. For the first 3 hours she lay in the hot sun crying out, and periodically when she urinated or defecated, she would use her front legs to drag herself along the ground to a clean spot. She also tried to crawl to a shaded area, but she was unable to move far enough. Altogether, in 10 long hours, she managed to crawl a painful 14 yards. The yard employees wouldn't allow her any drinking water, and the only water she received that day was given to her by Jesse Pierce, a local animal rights activist who had been contacted by a woman who witnessed the incident. Jesse arrived at noon, and after receiving no cooperation from workers, she called the police. A police officer arrived but was instructed by his superiors to do nothing, and he left again at 1 p.m. A slaughterhouse worker informed Jesse that he had permission from the insurance company to kill the cow, but he wouldn't do so until Jesse left the yard. Although doubtful that he would keep his word, Jesse left at 3 p.m. and when she returned at 4:30 p.m, she found the stockyard completely deserted. 3 dogs were now attacking the cow, who was still alive, and she had suffered a number of vicious bite wounds, and her drinking water had been removed. Jesse was desperate at this point and contacted the police again, and 4 officers arrived at 5:30 p.m. One wanted to shoot the cow to end her suffering, but he was told that a veterinarian would have to kill her. The 2 veterinarians at the facility would not euthanize her, claiming that in order to preserve the value of her flesh, she could not be destroyed. And eventually, a knacker man arrived at 7:30 p.m, shot her, and her body was sold. This story is not an isolated case. In fact, it's so common in the meat and dairy industries that cows in this condition are known as downers. So it's up to the public to demand change, and it's up to the consumers to refuse to purchase the products of these miserable industries. In other words, it's up to everyone to be vegan.